Hey everyone, welcome to another Hungover podcast. This week brought to you live. Just kidding, it's not live. But we did check out the Game Awards last night and see what happened and where the industry is going with how their voting decision came through. What we heard last night will reverberate through the ages, or until Tuesday when nobody will care again. My name's Ivan and over there is Julien, and we're going to go into all of that in depth, what was announced, what we saw from the awards, and go through all of that. But first, we want to do one thing, which is ask you to put in your opinion, your words about our programming here at Hungover Gaming, specifically the Hungover Podcast. We'd like you to rate and comment on the iTunes to make sure that we increase our visibility there. If you like what you see here, or if you don't, posting there will help increase our visibility, so we appreciate when you do that. Also, you can rate, comment, subscribe here on YouTube, iTunes, or SoundCloud. Thanks so much. And Julien.
Yes.
How to do with the rigmarole?
That was awesome. Thank you. It was very succinct. I think we're getting better, but by we, I mean you and not me. So that's great.
What else do we do at the beginning of the show?
Mostly because I already nailed it. You know, I don't need to get any better at this stupid thing. No, but I just wanted to say I really appreciate everyone who is subscribed to us, but no one else. And specifically, I want to say that I'm really excited for all the upcoming games this year that were announced at the Game Awards. Pretty exciting stuff. Way more exciting than any of the awards at all. I was just excited for the announcements.
It's a weird award show, man.
It is weird, but I guess they want to make the games real popular. You know what I mean? Also, maybe it's more of an advertisement, but I guess it's the same thing as the Oscars, right? That's sort of an advertisement for movies.
Yeah, in a different way. I feel like the Oscars are like, here are the things that you need to check out before the Oscars, whereas the Game Awards are like, here are the things that you need to check out next year, which is a weird
that's true.
kind
yeah,
of
that's also true. Yeah,
dynamic.
There's no announcements of new movies, but that's because they already do that with trailers before movies. Well, now they just drop the trailers on YouTube or something. I don't know. Anyways, Ivan, we start our podcast out every single week by asking each other, what media have you been consuming, and what'd you drink last night? Or so. Anyway, I don't know.
Yeah, no, so, consumed a lot of media this week in the form of two different movies that I wanted to go over. One is The Room by Tommy Wiseau.
The Room. Oh, no. Oh,
I had never seen The Room before.
Are you getting excited for, what's it called, Disaster Artist?
Yeah, I was, I've never seen The
either.
Room. I didn't understand what the Disaster Artist was, and then my girlfriend was like, hey, this is based off of this movie.
Wait, you've never heard of that movie?
I had never heard of The Room.
Who the fuck are you, man?
I know, I like movies, too.
That's so weird, dude. That is, one of the most infamous movies ever.
It just flew through my radar. Apparently, in my high school, nobody cared about it. So, The Room is a movie that came out in 2003 with a surprising $6 million budget that came scrappled out of somewhere. And it was fantastic.
Hey, he's definitely made his money back. I'll tell you that much.
Yes. Not from my viewing, I can guarantee that.
Didn't pay for it. Totally gotta pirate this shit.
Allegedly, I did not pay for it.
Allegedly.
But
incriminating evidence.
I was fascinated by the acting, I've got to say.
It's a work of art.
The fact that, 3 minutes into the movie, there's this terrible sex scene.
Oh, I haven't seen it either, to be honest with you. But at least I knew about it. But, that's 3 minutes into the movie?
3 minutes into the movie, there's
I thought it was
sex
in the middle
scene.
or something. That's cool.
There's 4 to 5 sex scenes.
Oh, okay, never mind.
I'm pretty sure there are 5 sex scenes in the movie. There might be 4, and I might be overcounting it, just because So the first sex scene happens, and I'm like, okay, let it slide, right? It's a movie. Second
you
sex
kind of have
scene...
to say that the entire movie.
Second sex scene happens, and I'm like, I'm pretty tired of this. These are really long, like, porn music infused sex scenes. Sex scene number 3 happens, I fast forward the movie, and that's just how it happens for the rest of it. But there are some fantastic lines. Like, we could be discussing exactly what this is, and then I go, so how's your sex life? There's such subtlety in the acting. It's pretty tremendous.
It's definitely gonna go down in history as something, and it's a very popular movie.
And it looks like it was made in the early 90s, but it was made in 2003. I can't believe it. It's... How could it not? I did not do it. I did not hit it. Oh, hi, Mark.
I'm excited for The Disaster Artist. I want to see that movie, even though James Franco is questionable sometimes.
I really like James Franco.
Yeah.
I think he takes a lot of really weird roles now because he's made a lot of money.
Yeah, he's also a professor at NYU, right, or something.
Is he? I know.
He teaches a class. He was
going to Columbia for some sort of degree.
Cool. I'm impressed with all the things that he's done. Just some of the movies, maybe I don't know. I can't think of which movie exactly I don't like. I forgot which one I didn't like that much. But maybe it was what's the one where he goes to North Korea?
The Interview.
The Interview. Yeah, that movie was silly.
It was silly. I like that it was silly. I
like all the comedies. They're funny.
60 to 70% in on that movie, and 70% of it was Seth Rogen. I was pretty much in on James Franco's performance.
I like Seth Rogen a lot. I think he's funny.
Questionably, I had never heard of also Palo Alto. And apparently Emma Roberts has taken a turn of doing just a bunch of sports movies.
Uh-huh.
So Palo Alto, she plays a soccer player who is a student of James Franco's, and some stuff happens between them apparently. Spoiler on Palo Alto, a movie that I'm sure we've all heard of.
Yeah.
And then she also took a turn as a basketball player with Sam Rockwell.
Okay.
Who was her estranged father and coach.
Speaking of James Franco, I saw him live in person on Broadway. He was in the play of Mice and Men, I think.
Was he good?
Yeah, I liked that. It was pretty good. I think not too many people liked it, but I thought it was a really good performance. I thought it was good.
I wonder.
Anyways, sorry to interrupt you. Keep going with this movie.
Yeah, anyway, and the other movie that I saw to completely contrast, as if it was a completely different other person, was Split.
Sorry, didn't want this to turn into a Vita Coco commercial. Sponsor us. Anyways, that's Split.
Yes.
Really?
Split is the M. Night Shyamalan movie, which marks one of his returns to form. It was really good.
Wait, when was he not in form? What movie?
Since The Sixth Sense.
Okay, fair enough. I kind of like Signs. I
never saw it.
Okay. But then we can't talk about Mel Gibson anymore, right? Is that a thing? Anyways.
Well, he's back. He's in Daddy's Home too. So Hollywood's accepted him, so should we.
Okay. Well, anyways.
One of the worst
Split.
movie series. Like, that has a sequel? That has a sequel?
Well...
And I still haven't gotten Bad Boys 3?
Come on. And well, we got Rush Hour 3, so...
That was also just as bad and directed by an asshole.
But, I'm not saying Rush Hour 3 wasn't bad, but Rush Hour 1 and 2 were good. And we got Rush Hour 3, so...
Rush Hour 1 and 2 are great. Chris Tucker is the underrated black comedian of his time.
But Jackie definitely deserved that Lifetime Achievement Award.
That's all we're saying. Anyway, Split was a really good movie. I really enjoyed James McAvoy's performance. He
Nice.
plays on something on the order of 20 different personalities of one character.
Okay.
Because the character has DID, dissociative identity disorder. So it's really interesting. And I enjoyed it. It was good. The strong performances, the story was pretty good. It kind of bounced around, but I thought it was a solid movie in general. So it's also nice to see just an actor or director, and he also acted because he had a minor part in the movie, but a director coming back to doing something that was pretty solid.
Nice.
So I enjoyed that. What about you?
Yeah, so I saw 3 movies as well. I managed to see Jim and Andy as well.
Nice.
I thought that was really good. I really liked that documentary. I thought it was really interesting.
It was a really good documentary.
Gave me an insight in Jim Carrey and as to why he's not making any more movies, essentially. Good for him if that's what he wants to do. And he's made himself very popular, and I applaud him for that. He did a really good job with his career. Pretty sure it's over, though, based off the end of that movie. Go check that out. It's on Netflix. Vaughn talked about that earlier in the last podcast or 2 podcasts ago. And I also saw 2 other movies. Did all the movies you saw came out before 2010?
No.
Okay, never mind.
The Split came out last year or the year before.
Well, anyways, I was gonna tie it in when you said The Room came out in 2003. Speaking of movies that came out in before 2010, I saw a movie that came out in 2004 called Infernal Affairs. Have you seen this movie?
Oh, Infernal Affairs? No, but I have seen Departed. The Departed.
You've seen The Departed. Yeah, you should see Infernal Affairs.
I've heard it's even better.
It's great. I loved it. It's in Cantonese. It takes place in Hong Kong. All the actors are Asian, so it's the Asian version of The Departed.
Reverse, right?
The Departed is the white version of Infernal Affairs, rather, with Hollywood actors. But
2015 Split.
I really like this movie. It has some antiquated like technology in it, like such as flip phones and things like that, and they have these weird hacking scenes that don't really make much sense, and they sort of zoom in on the screen. You know how back in the early 2000s, they would zoom in on the screen when someone was typing or hacking, and it would be kind of blurry because they were zooming in on a not like a nice monitor that we have now, like 4K monitors and things like that. They were zooming in on just crappy monitors, so it was really blurry, and you could see the lines. It was just
nice,
hilarious. But it's all in Cantonese, so I mean, take it as you will. If you get pissed off of its subtitles and things like that, it's on Amazon. You can rent it for $3. And I think it's a really great movie. If you like The Departed, you'll definitely like this movie. And if you like anything about Chinese culture, I think this really explains a lot of it. And they really like crime movies and like detective movies in Hong Kong. There are a whole slew of them. So I intend to watch some of them anyways, because I'm trying to learn Cantonese. I've gone from essentially not understanding anything to understanding bits and pieces of what was said in the movie, so I feel a little accomplished.
That's solid. Good. That's progress.
Yeah, that's progress. Who knows? I feel like maybe I've just hit a plateau, but who knows? It gets a lot harder when you find the nuances, because there are a lot of, like, the Chinese like to use a lot of puns and things like that. I guess similar to how we use idioms. There are similar, I guess, Chinese idioms that would come with ages of studying the language, but and that's sort of really colloquial Cantonese stuff that I would have to learn up. But anyways, I also saw a movie called Zodiac.
Nice.
You've seen this movie?
That's a David Fincher modern
David
classic.
Fincher.
That is a 2003 movie, I think, actually.
Yeah, I think so. I think it came out 2007. Basically, if you want to see some Iron Man and Hulk action before they were Iron Man and Hulk, go check this movie out, because Robert Downey Jr. and Mark Ruffalo are in it, along with Jake Gyllenhaal. And there was, do you remember the actor who played, he's on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Maybe I shouldn't spoil. Whatever, it came out in 2007. You had your time.
It's the 10-year anniversary, man.
Yeah, tough luck. I won't spoil anything related to the story, even though it's based off a true story. The Zodiac Killer or Murderer. They made a movie about him. You can go look him up on Wikipedia if you want. That's what I did halfway through the movie, because it's actually kind of long. It's 2.5 hours. But this guy really killed people in the California area over the course of like 20 years, pretty much. I think, or a couple years. I think it was maybe 10 years he was killing people. And I think he claimed to have killed 30 or 40, but I'm not sure. They only confirmed 5 actual deaths through this serial killer. And basically, the guy who's in... Have you seen this movie, Ivan?
I own this movie.
Oh, you own it. Okay,
I'm a
yeah,
big
the guy...
David, so I might have said David... Did I say David Lynch or David Fincher? I meant David Fincher.
It's David Fincher. Yeah.
I'm a huge
David Fincher
fan of David Fincher's aesthetic when he does this kind of stuff.
Yeah. I feel like this movie might have not... I mean, despite the famous actors, might not have had the largest budget, but it was it looked pretty... Like, some of the... I don't know. Some of the scenes that... with the Zodiac Killer in it were, I don't know, they seemed a little, let's say, I guess, under budget in terms, not as cinematic as they could have been, but there was this one really brutal scene where he's stabbing someone in the back for like way too long. It was horrible. It was like, oh God, you're still going. And they were just yelling the whole time, obviously. But, yeah, so anyway, the guy in It's Always Sunny, you know the weird 2 brothers that drink milk in that show?
Yes.
That are obviously all inbred. One of the brothers is in the last scene of this movie. He got, like, maybe a minute of screen time. But he's also in House of Cards.
Yeah, no, he was also in Psych.
And in Psych, yeah. I forget his name, but He's getting more and more roles.
He's also
I think
in
he's
Westworld.
A pretty good actor. Is he?
Jimmy something.
Jimmy Fallon.
Or maybe
I think he's a pretty
Jimmy
good actor.
Psych.
But I think this movie definitely proves that if the show Columbo ever comes back, Mark Ruffalo should be goddamn Columbo. I'm just saying. And
Mark Ruffalo's too big of a star to be Columbo, but
the Ruffalo-Columbo crossover needs to happen. All right? Because I think this is a thing that happened on Twitter. Someone wanted to bring it back. I guess the original, or someone acquired the rights of it and wanted to bring it back, and they got in contact with Mark Ruffalo on Twitter, and he expressed interest in being Columbo. I think he could totally do it. That would be awesome. But yeah, now that he's the Hulk, I guess he's too popular.
Jimmy Simpson is the dude's name.
Jimmy Simpson. Yeah, go check it out. I actually really like the movie. I think it went on a little long, but then again, it's a long story to tell. And I think it's really interesting. I think they had a really creepy scene at the end where, well, we're spoiling it, where Jake Gyllenhaal meets the killer, the Zodiac Killer, or allegedly, I guess, and it sort of reminded me of It, because he was in the basement, and then they turned off the lights, and he had to run out. It's scary. It was almost scary, anyways. Ivan, that's what I did.
I thought it was a scary movie.
Yeah, it was a pretty scary movie.
It was
scary
Todd.
Story.
Hey, one thing before we move on to the Game Awards. So if you like that, and I recommend that, if you like that, then we should check out and do a review on Mindhunter. Because it's also a David Fincher. That's a David Fincher Netflix series.
Yeah,
about the establishment of the criminal psychology unit at the FBI.
Okay, sure.
And it's really good. And something that my sister pointed out, which I thought was actually really prescient, is that we can talk about this point afterwards, but it's so slow paced, and the pacing and the way that it goes through, it feels more like a video game to some people when they're watching it than it does like a TV series or whatever. Yeah, Mindhunter.
Oh, that's cool. All right.
I can relate it to LA Noire really well.
I'll have to check it out. I'll watch the first couple episodes and see what I feel about it.
Yeah, bro. So,
anyways,
the Game Awards were last night, and guess what? Nintendo is the best game producing company in the world.
Wouldn't you know it? Nintendo's back on top. Wouldn't you know it? I think that I was more excited about the announcements than any of the Game of the Year stuff, but I really liked Zelda. I know many people definitely liked it a lot, so I don't disagree with Game of the Year, which is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I think that it deserved to win Game of the Year, even though I like all those games on the list. So, but then again, I'm not making the decision. So, but I guess I agree with it. What do you think? You think Horizon Zero Dawn
Zero Dawn got shat on.
Robbed.
It was robbed. I think Horizon Zero Dawn. So what is the format of these awards? They're voted on by the people?
There's the people, and then I think there's also a committee or something like that.
Well, somebody in there was wrong. I
don't know. I don't know how it works.
I was quite annoyed that Horizon Zero Dawn wasn't able to capture a single award, whereas many of these other categories were able to double or triple up.
I'm going to tell you that I need to take a quick break and go to the bathroom really badly. I'm sorry.
10-year anniversary for Zodiac. And what did we learn since the movie came out? Well, nothing really. We've been satisfied with the unanswered question of Zodiac. So, Zodiac was a movie that decidedly didn't want to fulfill the answer. Although it presented a possible solution, we know that that solution isn't necessarily the correct one. As the Zodiac Killer, scarily enough, remains at large to this day. Now we've captured the BTK Killer as a society. He was captured. And Mindhunter's going a little bit into the beginnings of his story. But it's interesting to see that David Fincher wasn't done with his cycle on serial killers. It must be a pretty intriguing topic for him to take a look at all of this stuff. And let's take a look at some David Fincher news and or IMDb. So, as we go into the David Fincher IMDb, this is now the IMDb show portion of the podcast. So, director of Gone Girl, Seven, of course. The Social Network with Aaron Sorkin. Wow, he's done a lot of really cool stuff. Also, I don't remember at all where we were.
You were talking about how Horizon... Sorry that there was an interruption. But you were talking about Horizon Zero Dawn and how they totally got robbed of
they did
all
get robbed.
Categories.
Zero categories.
Well, okay. Game of the Year aside, they definitely did not win anything that they went up against Breath of the Wild in, and also there are, all the categories except for Best Narrative, I believe and Best Game everything that they went up in a category in, except for Best Narrative, they were up against Breath of the Wild, so that sucks for them. But I think you're right. I think that they could have pulled ahead in Best Art Direction or let's see,
It
or
just
best
feels
game
to me,
direction, probably.
I don't know.
But...
Maybe the Oscars are like this, but I've felt like in recent years, in at least the last two cycles of the Oscars,
yeah,
that there's been a greater diversity in handing out those trophies. The awards go to, it's not as stacked for one movie as it has been in the past. For instance, the surprise winner of the Best Picture Oscar last year being Moonlight instead of La La Land was really intriguing, or Spotlight versus the big movie of the year before. So
I see.
It felt like, the Oscars are moving in this direction where there's one movie which can break the cycle of not every single most important, most produced in terms of most commercialized product gets picked number one.
Mm-hmm.
But it feels like that's still the case here in
video
games. And I wonder if we did a cross-examination of when something comes out to when something is to the awards.
Yeah.
It's similar to the Oscars, of course, because the Oscars have that similar bias. So,
well, Horizon and The Legend of Zelda came out 3 days apart. So I don't know if you can make that comparison.
No, I'm not necessarily making it for those two, but I'm like,
okay.
Wolfenstein 2, Cuphead, these came out within the past 3 months. Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Super Mario Odyssey, these are the awards winners. Also, best fighting game was Injustice 2. My hat tip to you.
Fucking kill me. Are you kidding me? Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even look at that. Over Tekken 7? Fuck that. Fuck Injustice 2.
See,
Fuck
this is
game.
what I'm saying. It's a flawed
Anyways,
system.
whatever.
But Persona 5 won an award, so good for you.
Okay, cool. Did they win best role-playing game or something? What did...
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Yes, best
Sorry,
RPG.
we're so prepared.
And our favorite, JX3 HD, won the best Chinese game.
Oh, baby. I'm glad that happened. Oh, man, Dr. Disrespect. What a guy. Anyways, let's discuss...
Overwatch took home some awards, too.
Yeah, let's discuss that. Are you excited that Overwatch is the best... Or the best ongoing game?
I am so surprised that Overwatch got best esports game.
Oh, it's ongoing game.
It also won best esports game.
Oh, did it?
Two different categories, bro.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Sorry.
Yeah. So it seems that vote is just that Overwatch has kind of steamed up their engine, and so they're moving towards becoming larger and larger and more important in the esports world. And it seems like Blizzard coming in and knowing how the esports world works with StarCraft for that long tail end of that game.
Absolutely, yeah.
It seems like they were
still going,
really prepared to make Overwatch an esports game, and they've done everything that they can to guarantee its success. So that doesn't mean that it will be a success, but they've supported it in every which way possible to make sure that they're doing everything that they can to make it a success.
Mm-hmm. And it's definitely working. I mean, as you outlined in our most recent Overwatch replay, the Overwatch League is launching. I think they just had their prelim games, I think.
Yeah, so preseason was this past Wednesday
games,
on December 6th, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's effing huge because it's going to be broadcast, I think, on ESPN when the games start actually.
January 10th playing. Is the opening day, I guess. What do you call it? Opening day.
Yeah, the opening day.
Overwatch League.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I read this. There's this huge article on Wired, which makes me think that Wired has never played a video game before.
A lot of people have never played a video game, so.
But basically, it was comparing the growth of esports and kind of the demographic of what esports is. So the median age, I don't know where they pulled these statistics from, but it seemed like the median age of every single major sport category, like NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB was going up, whereas the esports demographic is around 21, the median age.
The demographic for people who like to watch.
Yeah.
Esports. Okay,
So
yeah,
I don't
sure.
know how accurate that is as to a barometer, because I really think that the NBA is a pretty young, heavy sport. So I think a lot of young people watch the NBA. So I don't know how much I trust where the statistics came from, but it does seem that esports, if it can grow and become, as popular or as accepted in the monoculture as the NFL is, then
it's already
it's a huge
being funded
market.
in colleges now. I don't know if you have talked to one of our clan members. I mean, he's also subscribed to our YouTube channel. Shout outs to Eman. But he's part of the esports team. He's on the Rocket League esports team at his college, and they have an Overwatch team. They have a whole computer lab for them to play all these games. And they're like a legitimate team. They go to play other schools. It's like
Do they get scholarship funding for that though?
I'm sure there is scholarship funding for it. I don't want to say that there is
for this particular person exactly. Yeah. But the idea being that is there going to be scholarship funding for esports teams now the way that there is for, let's say, a football team? Which is like 100-something person roster at some schools.
I wouldn't be. Oh, not on that level. I don't think for professional. I mean, that's just you have to scale it to how much professional esports players make compared to professional sports real sports. No, I'm kidding. Professional sports players make, right? So
there is a huge difference. But I saw some of the contract stipulations that I saw were something like 50% of the splits of whatever the team revenue is from selling merch and things goes to the players, which comes out to about 8.3% per person on most teams.
That's huge.
And they have a $50K minimum contract for the year. Now I don't know if that's guaranteed money, non-guaranteed money, because that can be different, right? So in NFL, for instance, you could sign a $17 million contract and only like $50,000 is guaranteed or something like that. Whereas in the NBA, every single dollar basically is guaranteed. It just depends on the structure of the contract. So even if they're signing these big, massive contracts in esports, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's all guaranteed money.
And then there's also the potential for an esports player that gets somewhat of a following to start a Twitch channel and do that on the side, and maybe a YouTube channel if they have that much time, like us. No, but at least a Twitch channel, because then they could stream themselves.
Like Seagull
practicing or something. I don't know.
Is a big American Overwatch player. I hate the fact that we have to call them by their tags. By the way.
Seagull. Oh, you want to just call them by... Yeah, right. Exactly.
I'd just rather call people by their names. I get it. It's a gaming thing, but it's a weird thing to me still. But Brandon Seagull, whatever his last name is.
They have these announcers saying their silly names. But yeah.
Flower just got a headshot on XKD.
Hilarious.
Faker coming in with the save.
Oh my god. Or Dr. Disrespect. He won
Trending Gamer.
And not that he's an esports player, but you could potentially have that name.
I'm surprised we didn't get you on the short list of Trending Gamers. That's my goal for next year.
Right? Next year. GGB's good.
Trending Gamer.
Trending Gamer of the Year.
You're supporting those disrespected games. I mean, Dr. Disrespect is just playing the popular games and people are watching him on Twitch. You're playing the games that nobody wants to watch and playing those on Twitch. 2. And you're getting some support.
Super Mario Sunshine last weekend. It was pretty fun.
See? And nobody wants to watch that. You're just supporting
actually
it.
There's quite there were 8 people watching literally the day I was streaming, but apparently there's a very large speedrunning community in that game, or not very large, not like 10,000 people, but there's surprisingly still people speedrunning that game to this day, and I have no idea why. It's fun. It's a fun game, but I don't know. I would not go in that hard. But yeah, that I think that esports are definitely. I think Overwatch. I mean, I'm aware that their League of Legends has been around for a while, and then StarCraft as well. But I think Overwatch is one of the first games to bring esports in, ushering it into more mainstream broadcast television, televised stuff. I know Street Fighter V was pretty big during Evo. They show the Street Fighter V finals and things like that, or top 8 on ESPN in July. But that's just one instance. Overwatch is going to be...
all the jocks in the world scream havoc.
Right, yeah, exactly. So but Overwatch is going to be... it's going to be televised regularly, I guess, maybe once a week or something, once this league starts up. So that's going to be pretty crazy.
Yeah, my question was how to check out the games mostly. That was my biggest question in terms of if I wanted to watch like my New York Excelsior team take on my Houston Outlaws. Am I going to be able to watch that on Twitch or YouTube, or is there a Blizzard channel that I have to watch it on? Can I check it out?
I'm pretty sure it'll be on Twitch, but I'm not. I would be absolutely surprised if it was not on Twitch. I'm sure there's a Twitch channel you can watch it on.
So the other question is, why didn't Blizzard come up with their own streaming service for it?
Because I don't know. That's logistics. I don't know. I don't know about.
Solid questions all around. Anyway, so esports is big. Overwatch has come into its own in the esports arena.
Yeah.
And it was surprising to see that Overwatch won esports game of the year.
Yeah. I am surprised. Let's look at the rest of them on there. Rocket League, an amazing game, super fun to play as a casual, but obviously you can, E-Man is on the Rocket League team at his school, so I think that's really awesome, and I think that game is continuously supported, for sure, and I'm really excited for it. I think there's a lot of crazy skill that goes into that game, and I think it should be more popular than it is, honestly, but then there was Counter-Strike, obviously, but that game's old news, man. Why do you need to talk about that game? And League of Legends, that's still going. There's crazy prize pools for that game, and Dota 2 as well. But I think Overwatch it seems like, has way more popularity than all those games. I think based off of, you can't really cosplay for Rocket League, right? That'd be silly. But I think just it has captivated it's captivated the casual market and the competitive market in equal ways, I think. So I think that game is a really great game, and I'm excited for you to get it on PC, Ivan.
Yeah,
so you can grind it out again.
I've been reinvigorated, and I have been playing some Overwatch this week.
Moira.
Casual mostly, cool. Yeah, but it's absolutely because of Moira. Moira is a dope character.
Yeah.
And
so all they have to do is add a new cool character, right?
Yeah. It's a character that blends everything that I want. I want to be able to contribute to damage dealing and healing, and boom, that's Moira. And you can also have... she's like the most ridiculously mobile character in the game.
Yeah. Except for Lucio. But yes. Even Lucio's... Moira can get out of situations pretty easily, but Lucio sometimes can't. But also sometimes definitely can.
Yes.
Anyways, Ivan, I wanted to go over the announcements, or at least the ones that I can think of at the top of my head, that were announced during the Game Awards. We got a teaser for an unannounced game, or we got a short teaser for what I believe is Bloodborne 2. Are you excited for this at all? I feel like you're going to be not excited for any of the announcements that I'm about to say, but I don't know if you read any of them.
Yeah, I have the list here from Kotaku.
Right. So it's not officially announced Bloodborne 2, but it's clearly Bloodborne 2.
Yeah.
Which is, why be cryptic about it? I don't know why. But I guess the build type. but it better come out next year. I love the first Bloodborne A. I gotta go back to Yarnum, gotta bring out that blood souls within me, transform my weapons, and hate myself again. I hate those games so much, but I just can't get enough. I love them so much. So I'm excited for that game. I can't wait. There's also a huge announcement in the fighting game community anyways.
Soul Calibur?
Soul Calibur 6. We must return to the Eternal Blade. I forgot what there's like this long intro sequence in the Soul Calibur games where this announcer's just talking about the Soul Calibur pretty much. Those games were always really cool. You could create your own character in those games. 3D fighting games also, where every character has a weapon specific to them, which is super awesome. I think anyways, it's very unique in the fighting game universe anyways. And I'm
as
very
long as I
excited
can
for this
get more
game.
cosplay of Ivy and I can
Holy
play
shit.
as Mitsurugi,
In
then we're all
4K,
good.
4K Ivy boobs. So excited. But speaking of boobs, Bayonetta 1 and 2 coming to the Nintendo Switch alongside the announcement of Bayonetta 3. And I'm excited for this. She is a ridiculous character that is super over-sexualized, but the game's made by a woman. Does that make it all right? I don't know. Or the character's designed by a woman.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. It's Japanese, who knows?
It's also Japanese, so maybe it is weird. It's definitely weird, Ivan. It's definitely weird. She completely, when she uses her witch abilities, I don't understand. Like, she's
a witch?
She's a witch, one. She has gun shoes. She also has guns. And so she has 4 guns at any given time. And she has all these demon abilities. You might like these games. They're really crazy. They're really, really cool. They're super stylized. Again, I still don't really understand what that means, but I'll keep saying it.
It's an industry term. Just don't worry about it.
It's an industry term. It's fine. And I think she completely derobes herself. She becomes naked when she uses her special abilities, and then her hair elongates and then becomes her clothes, but also becomes her powers.
What?
It's a fucking weird game, but it's really cool, and you kill. It's really brutal. It's very violent, but in a very comical way, because I don't know, why is this woman doing all this? I don't understand. Why are these things trying to kill her? I also don't understand. And it's just like a comical game. But it's
weird.
It's really, really action heavy, and I don't know, you probably didn't play Devil May Cry also, but that's a weird Japanese game as well.
I think I played a demo of it once.
That game is really cool as well in the combo system. Bayonetta sort of plays upon that in a way, and has a really ridiculous combo system where you can chain all these moves together, and it's really cool. Very excited for that. I can't believe they're making a third one exclusive to Nintendo Switch, which is pretty exciting. Then there was also the Legend of Zelda DLC is available today. Well, it was available yesterday as well. I just downloaded it. I'll have impressions later. I'm excited for that. I'm very excited for this DLC. Getting back into Zelda again.
Nice.
And there was no Devil May Cry 5 announced. There were a lot of leaks, so maybe they'll announce that at PSX, which is this weekend. Excited for that. And then this was not at the Game Awards, but I wanted to point it out. Mega Man had their 30th anniversary. I believe it was this week. And they announced Mega Man 11, which I'm excited for. So
interesting.
A lot of game announcements this week.
There was also a look at Death Stranding.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, tell us about Death Stranding. It was another trailer.
So it was a long, weird look with some more atmospheric building stuff. So you see guys in hazmat suits.
Kojima was there, and Guillermo del Toro was also at the Game Awards.
They fist bumped each other. It was dope.
Oh my god. But yeah, wait, tell us about Death Stranding.
So I still am kind of staying away from a lot of information on Death Stranding, but it looks kind of gritty, weird, kind of Resident Evil 7 meets Kojima's mind. So
Great.
It's nightmare creatures and babies in oil or whatever. So we didn't get a lot of the baby stuff, but
because why is there a baby in this game?
Norman Fetus wasn't here, but we did
God.
get a look into more of what would be what the game is, kind of atmosphere building stuff, and it looks interesting in terms of the kind of what they're trying to evoke in terms of the personality of the game itself. So I'm excited for that. I also love Guillermo del Toro's artistic side, and I love Hideo Kojima's games, obviously, because I'm a big Metal Gear fan. So
I'm telling you, play Metal Gear 5. It's gonna be fun.
And
you gotta play it.
A game that I'm excited for, actually, that I didn't know existed was a co-op Prison Break game called A Way Out. I think,
A Way Out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think we
also Outlast got announced for Switch, by the way, and they're making Outlast 3. But yeah, keep going.
I think we could do a couple videos in that.
Yeah, of course. This A Way Out. It's like a co-op game, right? Yeah. I saw the headline. That game looks really cool. Actually, we should. Well, if it gets good reviews or looks previews well, at least we should go check it out. It's going to be on PS4, Xbox One, PC.
Something like that.
Maybe Switch. Who knows? Just bring your games to the Switch. It'll totally, your game won't make it blow up, I swear. These fucking new games, god damn it. But it looks like 2018 is filling out with games, man.
Yeah.
The Dragon Ball Z game's coming out. I can't believe they're making that game. Oh my god.
Is that the fighting game?
Yeah, it's the fighting game.
The one from Guilty Gear?
Yes. The Guilty Gear guys are working on it, I think. What's their name? I won't think of it. It's not going to happen. Arc Studios, that's it. Arc Systems. Very excited for that game. 2018's looking good. We'll do a state of gaming as a whole podcast later on, maybe this month if we get the chance, maybe in January to cap off the year. And of course, we wanted to have another a political podcast, which will probably come out next week, discussing the Trump tax plan and things like that. So we wanted to plug that at least. Do you have anything else you want to plug, Ivan?
No, but I think we should check out Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. It won a bunch of awards.
Oh yeah, it won. The voice actor won the award, right?
Yeah.
So.
Check out Chef Brigade. It came out on Friday.
Chef Brigade?
We did a Let's Play in it, a long-anticipated Let's Play recorded right before Thanksgiving, and it's finally coming out. So it was actually a pretty fun game. And if you like Match 3 and cooking and also beat-em-ups, that's the game for you. So it is all of the things. It's like the Bollywood movies of Japanese cooking games.
Right. And you have an exciting narrative that we won't delve into in this podcast, but it will be unfolding throughout our Let's Plays. Maybe not this past one, but definitely soon. So be on the lookout for those videos. We'll be putting those out soon. Avant, we end our podcast every single week off with a song in a segment called Hungover Radio. This is where you, the listener or viewer, can send in your music to us at gaminghungover@gmail.com. Send us an MP3 link, and we'll link it out in the video version, so you get the clicks and the views and the likes and all those things. But we'll also play it at the end of the audio portion of this the podcast for your listening pleasure. So hopefully we can give you some free advertisement that way. Of course, we'd prefer if you sent in a song that you wrote, co-produced, etc., played an instrument on, all those things. We'd love to hear your music. Please send it in. But no one sent in music, so we're going to play the Game of the Year's soundtrack, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild theme, parentheses soundtrack. Boo! It's a great game, god damn it. That game is so good.
I'm gonna let you finish, but Horizon Zero Dawn had the best music video of the year.
Best music video? Actually, that's not true. Super Mario Odyssey had the best music video of the year. God damn it. They actually made a music video.
I can't believe it.
And you can buy the song on iTunes. What the fuck? Horizon Zero Dawn had pretty good music. I'll agree with you there. But they weren't Game of the Year. Sorry, Ivan. Legend of Zelda was. But
yep.
Yeah, go check it out. I hope you guys enjoyed the song. And sorry for the shorter podcast this week. We were running low on time. We'll catch you guys next week. Peace out.
Bye.